Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sondering Tarot. This is your daily tarot reading for the 31st of March, 2024. And for those of you that celebrate it, happy Easter. Today we're going to use a Majors Only deck. This is the Little Magical Circus Tarot. I have yet to actually use these for a daily tarot reading, so this will be the first time. I only use this for my own personal use. It's a cute little deck. I have a tendency to call it the Little Circus Tarot for short, but if you're unfamiliar with the deck, it will be listed in the description box down below. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, my lovelies, we have all your cards on the table. We actually don't have much for the best part of your day. The worst part of your day, it's all the obstacle or how to get over the obstacle. But we start out for the best part of your day with the Tower. The Moon in the reverse. And the Hermit in the reverse. I actually like this because we're making choices. We're making changes. And for a lot of you, that means we're unearthing things that we kind of already knew. Deep down, we knew some things, but didn't actually act upon them to make the changes. And so we kind of ignored them for a while. That might have caused us to be on pause, do a dark night of the soul moment, etc. But now we're starting to make the changes. We're starting to make the connections. We're starting to choose differently, to realize what was actually there, what we were burying. Not only that, but it helps us make new connections, whether that's communicating with new people, starting relationships with new people, communicating and having a better relationship with ourselves, our higher selves. Maybe we've done a period of shadow work. Perhaps we've also, instead of being, distracted by the 3D world, now we're realizing there's a whole side of a spiritual world, a spiritual team that we're now actually connected to. And we are never alone. We have ancestors, angels, spirit guides there for us all the time. Always have been. And that is now in sharp relief. Alright, and the worst part of our day is death. Changes do not come easy. They are hard won. You may struggle with that. One of those, yeah, but if I changed this, this might happen. Or if I change this, I know this is going to happen. And that opens up a whole new level. Yes, some of that's going to be the unknown. The mystery of life. Others, certain things that will happen, and you may not like those, even though they may be necessary. Especially if it involves like an ego death. That particular one is going to be really hard to make the appropriate changes, to ignore the distractions, to kill the ego a little bit, and make the necessary changes, even though it's for the best. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into our obstacle, or how to get over our obstacle. We start out with Justice. We have the High Priest, which is the Hierophant in this deck. The Devil, not surprised it showed up. The Empress in the reverse. The Hangman in the reverse. The High Priestess in the reverse. The World. The Emperor in the reverse. The Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. And Judgment in the reverse. Yeah. Like I said, there's things that you probably knew on some level and were refusing to make changes to, simply because you knew what was going to happen, or there were certain things you weren't ready to let go of. Literally justice, cause and effect. You knew some of the outcomes and other ones you didn't. But you had to learn, probably not so nicely, that certain distractions and things that we do, especially if it's pertaining to the ego for you, it is very much not going to help us grow. And that's something that we've had to literally get over. We've probably been held up. We've probably had some testing from the universe to bring in sharp relief of, okay, we have this bad habit and it roadblocks us from, better health or whatever it is. And that's been a repetitive cycle over and over and over again. And we've subconsciously been aware of it. And maybe, depending on how evolved you are, you've been consciously aware of it as well. You just haven't taken the plunge to actually contend with it. Instead, you've been ignoring what your gut, your intuition, it keeps nagging at you about of, hey, this isn't good. Hey, this is wrong. Hey, this is nothing but a distraction, a bad habit, something that we need to get rid of. Hey, this is something to deal with. And that's been at you for a while, all for you to contend with it, to shut it down. There's a chapter here that needed to be closed. Like I said, repetitive cycle. Something keeps coming back around, all for you to try and deal with it. Why? Because in the long run, it does not serve you. It is not something to keep. It is not something to keep, hold on to at all. You're literally not called to keep it. Okay, so there's a little bit of a cleansing that we're dealing with. Like I said, some of you probably are going through a little bit of an ego death, a dark night of the soul type kind of involvement, or for those of you that weren't aware of the spiritual world, you're actually going through an awakening process. Maybe perhaps your first one ever. And yes, that can at first be scary until we're willing to, make the changes. Yeah. Yeah, bringing a certain cycle, a certain way of living, literally a certain foundation that we have here with the Tower card to an end with the Death card is difficult in and of itself. Especially if this is something that has been a coping mechanism, something that has been solidified and is no longer a boundary but a wall, something that has been there for so long and has helped us through life that we see it as a permanent fixture. We don't pay much attention to it anymore, that we may not recognize it right away as something that actually needs to change, that we've literally outgrown that space. The fact that they wanted a majors only deck is interesting for this. They could have asked for a deck that had majors and minors, but no, they wanted a deck that had majors only for this reading. So big energy, big changes, big shifts. So for probably a really bad example, this is like somebody who maybe is a drug addict realizing, hey, I'm destroying my body. This isn't good for me. I'm an addict. I need to seek help. And this is them having the aha moment, despite all the internal struggles, realizing I need more help than I can give myself. Maybe I need to check myself into a clinic that will help me get clean, etc. Like I said, very bad example, but that would be a major shift that you'd see with all the major arcana that they asked for today. Okay. Well, we're going to toggle over to the numerology. All your cards here add up to 166, which ultimately reduces to a 4, which we do kind of see right here in the tower. Your tower is your foundation, strategy and foundation. So yes, a boundary, a wall, something that you thought was there permanently is now having to be addressed and shift. Tower, we're literally crumbling a foundation. Why? Because sometimes you have to destroy something in order to build something new, something better, something in a better location that works more appropriately for where you are and how you've grown, or maybe need more room to grow. Alright. And for those of you that do like the astrology, the moon in Sagittarius trines Mercury in Aries. Communication comes easily. You can express yourself well, have a conversation, learn, or share. And in this case, we literally have the High Priestess, the Hierophant in this deck on the table. This is an opportunity for us to learn. What we're doing has consequences. What we're doing has an effect on us, whether or not we play into it or cut it loose. Now, that could be just consequences for ourselves, but for our family, our friends, for, the people around us, depending on what that devil energy entails. Like my bad example of the drug addict, if this is somebody who's married with kids, that affects their whole entire family. It has bearing on everyone around them, not just themselves. Alright, my lovelies, I'm going to stop rambling. And if this resonated for you, by all means, give me a big thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.